Hello and welcome to Fitscope's first rowing tutorial. This class is going to be Rowing 101. We're going to go over a lot of the basics of the rowing stroke technique and how to use your rowing machine, or what a lot of people call an erg. The word erg actually comes from the full name, which is ergometer, which comes from two Greek words which means work and measure, because this machine, unlike a cycle or something else that can give you a rough estimate or something, will actually give you an exact measurement of how fast you would be going on the water, how fast your stroke is going, and a few other things, but we'll get into that later. Today we're going to talk about the foot stretchers, the damper or drag factor, the monitor, and the stroke. All right. First we'll go over is the drag or the fan. This changes how hard it is to pull. If you set it to a 1, it's very easy to pull. It doesn't feel like there's any weight on the actual handles. If you set it to a 10, it'll be really heavy. Setting it to a 10 isn't necessarily a good workout. Just because it's heavy doesn't mean you can get a lot out of it. You're going to be able to only do a minute of work before you're completely tired. If you set it to a 3 or a 4, which this company says is the closest representation of what water would feel like, you'll get the best workout, or in this range really. You'll be able to endure the longest while also getting the toughest amount of pull. All right. Next we're going to talk about the foot stretchers. These are adjustable. You pull the tab up, push up, keep the tab, and pull down. They're numbered 1 through 5. I usually ride around a 3 or 2, and I'm a size 12. So you don't want them right on the tip of your shoe, and you don't want it, by your ankle. You want it over the laces of your shoe. So set your erg to whatever feels right to you. If you have a small foot, push it up. Bigger foot, push it down. And then to tighten it, you just pull the tab, and that's it. Pretty simple. All right. Next, we're going to talk about the stroke. We'll talk about the stroke because then that'll turn your monitor on. So let's grab our handles and go all the way back. Now, there's different parts of the stroke. Right here, this is called the finish, because you would have taken a stroke, you're all the way back, you finished your stroke, and you're ready to take your next one. Next, you would put your arms out first. Then you would lean, hinging from the hips. Don't curl the back. Right? It's a hinge. It's not a curl or a bend. So arms out, lean forward, and compress. Now you don't want to over compress. You don't want to come so far that your knees are going before your feet. You want to make sure that your shins are perpendicular with the floor. Then, once we're at this part, is called the catch, because on the water we'd be ready to take our blade, grab the water, and pull. Now, we push off with our legs. Now, it's important to keep the shoulders and the hips moving together. You never want to push out first and then pull, and you never want to start with your shoulders and then pull. You always want to make sure your shoulders and your hips move together. Then we lean, and then we pull in. It's the exact opposite of the recovery. This is called the recovery because we're going up to the stroke, and this is the drive. Recovery, drive. And all together, a little bit more fluidly, it would look like this. Always make sure that the hands come in front of the knees. You never want to be here and have your hands go up and over your knees. Up and over your knees is no good. It makes you expend more energy, and if you were on the water, which I suggest one day you take this to, your oars would be going up and down. So it's a bad habit to start. You always want to make sure that this chain doesn't go up and down. It goes in and out. So all together, it should look like this. Now, as you're at home, you should see that your monitor turned on. If it didn't, you probably need to put batteries in it. I believe it takes 2 D-cell batteries. You can put your handles down and look at the monitor. The monitor has a whole bunch of different settings, and we'll go into them in all of them in subsequent videos. So this is the basic setting. It gives you your total time, your stroke rates down here, your total meters, and a measurement of how fast you were going per 500. So this is called a 500 meter split because it'll tell you how fast you're going if you were on the water, if it was 500 meters. Very useful tool. If you change the display, it's the middle button on the bottom. It gives you a whole bunch of other options. These ones are your averages. So right now, since I just turned the erg on, it's already programmed to give you your projected 30-minute time. So it was saying that at the rate I was going, I would have done 5,000 meters in 30 minutes. Above that, turn the button on. Above that is your average 500 meter split. It'll give you an average of each individual 500 meter as you hit them. So let's explore a little bit here. We'll change the display again. This gives you how hard you were pulling. So if I take a stroke, you see it draws a little curve. It shows how much pressure you were putting on the erg. It draws a new curve for each stroke, and it shows you your pressure. You press the display again, you'll have a pace boat. We're not going to get into that one because that one is not really necessary for this course right now. Display again, watts. It's again just like the last display that shows you your pressure. And then I'll put you back to the home screen. These buttons also change the display. These buttons are presets with the display. Units. There's 3 different units that this machine is programmed with: 500 meter split, calories, and watts. Watts, a guesstimation of how much electricity you'll create or would create. Calories burned per hour, pretty self-explanatory. So let's go to menu. When you press the menu button, it'll give you a few different options. Just row is the default. So when you turn the erg on, that's what you start at, just row. Oh, press the button. Select workout is how you would program a workout. Games is simply enough. They have a few programmed games already in the erg. Memory is how you could access old workouts if you want to repeat something that you did. And more options is how you would connect a phone if you want to record your workouts on erg data. So let's go to select workout. And there's a few different workouts here. New workout or rerow is how you would access one of your old workouts again. New workout is simply new workout, and standard list and custom list are a few already programmed options. Custom list is an option that you can program yourself. So let's go to new workout. New workout, there's again a few different options. Single distance, single time, single calorie, and intervals. Now you access all these options by pressing the buttons that they're next to. If you want to go back, you just press the menu button. Menu is also the back button. So let's go to select workout. We're going to go new workout, single distance, and it's already programmed with 2,000 meters. We're not going to do that. We're going to program it with 500 meters just to get ourselves acclimated to the erg. All right. Now you can't zero out right away. You have to go over, bump it up to 5, and then go back over and subtract the 2. That's just how this machine works. So, and then when you're done, you go all the way down to the bottom, and there's like a little page with the check mark right here. And you press it, and now your erg is ready to go. I always recommend changing the units to 500 meter split. Gives you a lot of information. All right, so let's grab our handles and begin. Make sure you drive with the legs first. This is not an upper body pull. It starts with the legs as a drive, and then the very last part of the stroke is a whip back. It's almost like if you pulled a rope or chain. It doesn't bend until the very end. Keep the arms out straight all the way till the very end. Now if we pull harder, you'll see that the 500 meter split goes down. The harder you pull, the lower it goes. You'll also see that if you make your stroke rate a little quicker, the number here will also increase. So right now, I'm pulling a 2-minute 500 meter split, and I'm taking 22 strokes per minute. Now also on the stroke, it's important to keep your breathing regulated. You never want to start hyperventilating or not breathing enough. You usually take 2 breaths per stroke. 1 at the catch and 1 at the finish. Make sure that you're breathing. Don't let yourself get ahead of your stroke by breathing too many times per stroke. We're almost done with our workout, our little 500 meter split. If you're at home and you're taking longer, you can pause the video and finish on your own time. I'm going to finish here. Now I also suggest you play around with the monitor on your own. Press all the buttons, find out what they all do. There's a lot of things you can do with this machine. We're almost done with our 500 meter piece. And done. Okay. So, now we can look at some other options. That was just one single distance. Press menu again. Select workout, new workout, and now let's look at intervals. That's a majority of what people use. A lot of people like intervals because you can program your whole workout. And again, it works a lot like the first menu. Interval distance, interval time, interval calories, and interval variable. Interval distance, you'll put 2K of rowing. Actually, we'll just go to it. You'll do a distance of 2K, 500 meters. Whatever you want to do that day, and then a rest time. This will repeat. This will be the same thing each and every time until you decide to stop. You go back, interval time, it's the same thing. Set an 8-minute workout, 1 minute rest, 4 minutes rest, and it will repeat. Calories, same. Interval variable is where you can program a whole workout with different steps. So press that button. You can do calorie, distance, or time. We're going to press time. And now you have an option to program anything you want. So let's say we did a 1 minute workout. Press the top side arrow all the way over. Set your rest time. Once you set your rest time, let's say a minute or 10 seconds, whatever, press the checkbox. Interval 2, it'll ask you what you want to do. Let's say time again. Now we can make it 4 minutes, let's say. And again, we can change the rest time to whatever we want, and then we press the checkbox. When we're ready to actually start our workout, we press no more intervals. And then you're ready to start your workout. It'll only start once you start pulling the handles. So if you're not ready to start, be careful. Don't be careless with your handles, because then you'll start when you're not expecting to. And then display. So whatever you want to work out on, whether it's calories, watts, the average display, or whatever you're feeling that day. I recommend this display. It offers the most amount of information. It'll also tell you what interval you're on. It'll tell you your interval and your projected finish. Projected finish is the bottom row of this particular screen, and it'll give you either the projected time or the projected meters. So if I'm doing a 5-minute workout, it'll say your projected finish is 1,500 meters or whatever it is. So it's important to keep this number in mind, because that's your goal. You're trying to raise that time. You're trying to say, okay, I'm projected to finish in 1,500 meters. I want to get 1,550. Or I'm projected to finish in 10 minutes. I want to try and finish in 9:30, depending whether you put it to meters or you put it to time. Another important part of the erg in general is that it's not like cycling or elliptical that'll guide your body through the motion. Erging really takes you to be focused in your action. You have to pull the erg. You have to show it where to be. You don't want to just be careless and expect it to pull you back in any way you feel. You have to show the erg what to do. Make sure that you always make your hands come in and out, and don't let them just fall all over the place. Always make sure that you're coming up the slide and you're not crashing into the front. You're coming up and you're changing direction. Okay? Lastly, on the menu that we could go through, or the games section. Now the games might seem silly, but for young kids trying to get involved in a little activity or get involved in the world of rowing, this is a good idea just to get them interested. All right? We're not worried about having 12-year-olds break records right away. We want them just to get interested in the sport of rowing. And I suggest that you play around with them. It can be fun. And if you have a PM5, certain ergs, certain companies make this option. Not all do. You can go to turn on wireless if you go into more options, and this will actually allow you to set it up with your phone. You can get an app called Erg Data, and it connects with your Concept 2 PM5 model, and then you'll track all your workouts. If you want to do that, that's an option. You go back, memory, and memory is another option that will give you just your data, how much you've been rowing, if you don't want it on your phone. Another useful tool. And again, this is a lot of information all at once, so I really suggest you take your own time and just go through it all. Find out what it all does. Alright? For this instructional video, we'll start with a simple little workout to finish out the day. Let's go to our menu. We'll do select workout. Let's go new workout, intervals, interval time. We'll do 1 minute on. We'll do 1 minute off, checkbox, and that's it. It's going to repeat itself. Let's try and do this twice. Okay? Grab your handles, come to the catch, attention, row. This first piece, let's keep it at a 20. 20 strokes per minute. And that should feel relatively slow. That's okay. Some of the hardest strokes you'll take are slow. It's really important to be reserved and not rush up the slide. A low stroke rate is about a big pull. A higher stroke rate is about trying to get more distance in a shorter amount of time. If you're following at home on this workout, we should have 20 seconds left. Remember your breathing, 2 breaths per stroke. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And paddle. A paddle, which we're doing right now, is just a rest stroke. It allows you to recover while still staying moving. You never just want to sit and let lactic acid build up in your muscles, so keep moving for this minute. A nice easy paddle. When you're on your rest, it will not give you your strokes per minute. That's okay. Just do it at your own time, but just make sure you're not going too fast. Paddle is your recovery. Your time just to take it easy and get ready for your next piece. Now at the bottom row, if you're on the full display, it'll give you your total meters, including the recoveries. If you go to the top section, it'll give you how many meters you did in that minute. I did 252. All right, we're going to start our next piece in 3, 2, 1. Here we go, 1 minute. So if you remember your last projected finish or the last distance that you did, try and beat it. Look down at the bottom row. It should say projected finish. Try and beat it, or beat your last minute. This piece we're going to do at a 22 stroke rate. A little quicker than the last one. Shouldn't feel that much different though. The difference between like a walk and a jog. Not terribly fast. Last 20 seconds. Shoot for that last 1 minute split that you got. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and paddle. Okay, hopefully you beat your last 1 minute split. I'm at 257, so I got my last time by 5 meters. All right, paddle, recover, grab some water, and you can put your handles down. Unstrap by pushing the tabs and pulling your feet up. Once you get off, you're done. Thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you soon again. If you have any questions, you can email contact@fitscope.com or you can contact me at Bailey Health Coaching on Instagram. Thank you, and goodbye.